Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Welcome to the first video actually of 2018, and because it's just 2018 it's a perfect time to reflect back on 2017 and try to figure out what my favorite reads were, because there were quite a lot of 5-star reads on my Goodreads page. But what were actually my favorites? Well, watch this video to find out. Number 1 is Heartless by Marissa Meyer. When I started reading Heartless, I immediately was gripped by the writing style. A nice and light writing style that really gripped me from the beginning, and on top of that, the story itself is also quite amazing. I mean, it's the story about the Red Queen, about how the Red Queen became the evil being that she is known to be. How she turned from just a sweet little girl with such hopes and dreams to such a tyrannous and evil, not nice person. So that was very interesting. I really loved the Alice in Wonderland vibes and the fantastical elements, the lyrical writing. So that's why it's one of my favorite reads of last year. Another definite favorite of mine for last year was Caravelle by Stephanie Garber. When I first picked up the book, I wasn't really immediately interested in the story. What really grabbed me was the lyrical writing style. It was so amazing. Caravelle is about two sisters, Scarlett and Tella, who live with like a very evil dad almost. He's very cruel, very unkind, just not good. And they live on this tiny island unable to escape from him. But then the chance comes as Scarlett receives an invitation to famous Caravelle, which is like a 1-year event. It's like this show and the participants are also part of the show, and it's like famous. They get an invitation, and from there on, from the moment they stepped foot in Caravelle, everything, the entire story is like wonderful, magical, lyrical, amazing. Like everything that happens, you're not sure if it's real or if it's not real, if it's just fantasy, if it's really happening. And that's what I really loved about the story. It really made me feel like I was reading on a fluffy cloud high above earth. I don't know, it really made me feel good. And besides that, the story itself, the plot was also quite good, really good actually, and I can't wait for the next sequel, so bring it on 2018. Next one of my favorite of 2017 was Poison Study by Maria V. Schneider. It's about this girl who's been sentenced to death, but then she's actually saved from that death, or well, she's given a choice rather, because she can also become the king's food taster. Well, what that entails is that she has to pre-taste the food to try to detect any poisons if there are any. So it's quite a dangerous job, but is it better than death? Maybe. I would take it, to be honest. And then first she learns how to be able to taste these poisons. What do they taste like? What do they smell like? Etc, etc. And therefore she has to become poisoned herself as well, obviously, because how else are you going to detect poison? So it's not a really nice and elegant ride. But, you know, during the book, this is like her core mission. She trains to become a food taster to the king, then she does that. But meanwhile, there's these characters that really make you feel like, what are you up to? It's like a whole intricate network of all things happening while she's in the middle of it all. So it's very interesting. Another definite favorite of mine of 2017 was Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare, obviously. Now, I'm not going to tell a lot about the book because I know there are a lot of people still haven't read them yet. But why this is my favorite? It's just because of the bunch of characters that are being displayed here throughout the entire series, their interactions, and they all have their own points of views, which makes the story itself gives the story more depth, which is amazing. I mean, plot-wise, there's very interesting things going on. We found out some interesting new things in this new book, which really got me thinking like, oh my god, where's that next book? I need it now. But definitely, I also love the romance between certain characters and the way things turned out to be, and I just can't wait for the next book. I am not going to say anything more. I'm not going to go into it even deeper. I'm sorry. Another favorite of mine was A Shadow, Bright and Burning by Jessica Cluez, something like that. Well, this book really came to me in the middle of summer. I wasn't sure what to read, and then I figured why not read that, because it's been standing on my shelf for so long, and I'm so glad that I picked it up. You know, this book had many very mixed reviews. Some people loved it, some people hated it, but I am one of the people that loved it. What is the thing about this book? It's a typical YA fantasy story with a sort of dystopian touches here and there, in my opinion only. It's about a girl, a female sorcerer who can bend fire at a will, but that's not supposed to be, so she tries to keep it hidden, but then she's found out, and instead she's really afraid for her lives, but instead she's just taken along with someone to train her ability, to gain more control over it, to be better at it, obviously. And it's just her entire journey from that meek little girl tries to keep her ability hidden to that in a luxury living environment, and trying her best to train to become someone else, someone she's destined to be, because people think she she's the chosen one. There's always a chosen one, isn't there? But I loved it in this book. I really loved it. Speaking of typical YA stories, there's another one of my faves here. It's Rosebud by Ellie Blake. This is also a very nice fantasy if you're looking for a nice YA fantasy, because it's about a girl who's like a fireblood, but there aren't really a lot of firebloods out there anymore because they were driven out by the Frozebloods and their tyrannous king, who's like an evil bastard. But she is captured, unfortunately, because that's what Frozebloods do to firebloods, I guess. And then she is saved by no other than other Frozebloods. So whoa, oh my god, plot twist. And then she gets to train with other Frozebloods to be better at her ability, her fire ability, in order to kill the king or overrule the king together with the Frozebloods, which is like amazing because he's the tyrannous bastard at the core of it all, the core of the problem, if you will. So that is like the main synopsis throughout the book, but throughout the book there's so many more characters that are interesting. The interactions between certain characters is just so amazing. I love the dialogue, which is something that I never say, but I really loved it in this book. Next book is, and this one was a recent read and I loved it so much, Warcross by Mary Lou. Warcross is like this VR game. You put on glasses and then you're like literally inside the game. Think VR, but like definitely more advanced. And it's just a game, but it's not just a game, that's the thing. It's like a way of life. It's become a way of life. Everyone plays it. Everyone has one of those headsets and it's like taken over the entire world. It's amazing. So our protagonist is a very good hacker, which is good because she uses it to track down bounty hunters who bet like illegally on Warcross matches. And well, things don't exactly come around easily because she's a bit poor, so she needs all the money that she gets. So thankfully she has this ability to hack very well, and that's what she uses to get money, like in a way. But then comes the day that she glitches herself actually into the opening ceremony of the Warcross official championships, which has never been done before, which is technically impossible. And she's like afraid for her life, like I did something very illegal, like, and I just glitched into the game. People saw my face, people know my name. Then the very different thing happened. An owner and founder of Warcross actually wants her at his side to be his hacker for certain reasons that she finds out throughout the story. So instead of like killing her or something, he just gave her a function, a proper job, which is like amazing. So that's what the story is all about, really. She gets there in the entire Warcross community from like the slums, trying to just barely get around, to like high luxury living in the middle of it all. And she finds out certain things that are very interesting, and the entire world itself is so interesting. It felt really technologically advanced and I love that so much. I love gaming, so it was so interesting to read about like a VR game that's really so immersive that you're like walking and you're talking, and it's amazing. I just loved it a lot. Next book is This Mortal Coil by Emily Suvada, something like that. This is a nice sci-fi, also a bit dystopian. It's about this girl who finds out that her dad's passed away, unfortunately, and he was like the world's leading geneticist, like the best there was, and there just happens to be a very devastating virus going around killing people here and there. He was the only one who could have thought of a vaccine, but then she quickly finds out that he indeed made a vaccine. However, it was locked and she was given many cryptic messages just for her. So the idea of the book is that she has to encrypt these messages, follow the clues, first find the clues and make sense of the clues in order to find this vaccine, in order to save the entire world. What I loved about this book was genetics was mixed with this new sort of technology that you could just hack into your own self, and it was so interesting. I loved it so much. There's many cool characters out there that have different things that turn out to be different in the end, if you get what I mean. It's just a very surprising story in the end. It really didn't grab me until like page 80, but from there on I was like hooked. I couldn't put it away because I needed to know what was going on, because getting that vaccine, it seems very easy, the synopsis, but a lot of things happen in between, you know, and the virus itself, it's not pretty. You'll see. Go read it. Another one of my faves was If There's No Tomorrow by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I really loved this story, but I didn't just love the story, it really just gripped me and it made me quite emotional sometimes. It's just about this girl. She's in high school, like the blooming year of high school, senior year. She really has to step up her game in order to get her volleyball scholarship, because it's important, because her dad's left, and since her dad's left, things haven't really been easy money-wise. So that would be amazing. Then she just hangs around with a lot of friends that are very nice. She loves books a lot. Me too. Me too. She also has this job, just at a diner, and then there's Sebastian, which is her next door neighbor almost, and they're like the best of friends. Comes around in a room like all the time, just hanging around. But the thing is, they're so close, but she wants to be even close. She doesn't want to be just friends. She wants to take it to the next step, you know? She feels more for him in that sense. But she's afraid to tell him, obviously, because she doesn't want to ruin what she has with him now. The friendship, everything, the closeness. So there's a lot going on in her life already, and you'd think this was the book, but it's not, because one day she makes a fatal mistake, an error that she could have avoided, but she didn't, because she didn't realize, and she just made a mistake. She's human, but she made a mistake, and that has very bad consequences. And the rest of the book is her trying to deal and get better mentally, and I'm not going to tell you, no, I'm not going to tell you what it was, because that would be like spoiling the entire story. I'm not going to do that, but I really enjoyed the book. I think it was very well written. I really enjoyed it. Last book, what was my favorite in 2017 was Renegades by Marissa Meyer. Renegades is about the prodigies, who are like human beings with superpowers, abilities ranging from like telekinesis to like, I don't know, cooking without your hands. It's just something weird. And you have multiple groups of people. You have the Renegades, which is like this group of people, a group of prodigies, if you will, that are like the good guys. They establish peace, order, try to remain it in all the places there where once chaos reigned. Because there are also the anarchists who don't believe in the Renegades. They really try to fight the Renegades because they want to bring them down, because they don't believe in their beliefs. And you know how it goes in real life. And the thing about this book is it has two protagonists, or what, two points of views. It has one girl who is an anarchist from her 6th year, and then another point of view is one of the Renegades who's been a renegade from first day he was born, really. So there's two points of views, they intertwine, things happen, and they make you question like, who are the bad guys, who are the good guys? Are there any good guys or bad guys? Are you just equally as good as bad? And that's why I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait for the next part. So thank you so much for watching that. Those were my favorite reads of 2017, and who knows, maybe next year I'll make another video like this. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and until next time.